Hey there, and welcome to another trip report. Today, I'm island hopping in Hawaii from Kona on the Big Island over to Honolulu on the island of Oahu. This 30-minute flight will be on board one of Hawaiian Airlines Boeing 717-200 aircraft in economy class. Arriving at Kona International Airport at 2:10 p.m., I have 2 hours before my flight to Honolulu departs. Kona Airport is divided into 3 small terminals, with Terminal 1 housing gates 1 through 5 and Terminal 2 housing gates 6 through 12, while Terminal 3 is used by smaller commuter flights. Kona Airport is unique in that it's almost entirely outdoors, with the terminal buildings consisting of a set of open-air pavilions. Check-in for Hawaiian Airlines flights is at Terminal 2, with the check-in area dominated by self-serve kiosks. These check-in kiosks look very new and are super easy to use, and I printed out my baggage tag and boarding pass without issue. After printing my documents, I headed over to the baggage drop desks, where an agent verified my ID and took my checked bag. So far, no lines and a very easy process. Heading over towards security screening next, Kona Airport has been undergoing renovations for several years now, and part of these renovations was to connect Terminals 1 and 2 to allow passengers to pass easily between them without having to re-clear security. The newly renovated terminal space has a central security checkpoint which can be used to access gates in both terminals. The line for screening this afternoon is surprisingly long, as I would have expected this to be a quieter time of day. It took me almost 40 minutes to complete the line and screening process altogether, which leaves me with about 75 minutes before my flight departs. When you exit the central screening checkpoint, Terminal 1 is to the right and Terminal 2 is to my left. My flight's been assigned Gate 9B for today, so I'll find somewhere to settle in at the gate. It's a funny concept, but also very much a reality that you should probably be wearing sunscreen while inside this airport. On the bright side, I am very thankful that it's not raining today, as that would really suck. Entering the Terminal 2 pavilion, we have a gift shop, restaurant, and ample seating around the different gates. For those traveling in first class on Hawaiian Airlines, there is a Hawaiian Airlines lounge here in Kona near Gate 10. The gate seating is essentially just park benches, but they'll do the trick for the next little while. There's a cell phone charging station in the gate area as well, but it's essentially just one outlet, so the competition is fierce. Something else to keep in mind, given that there's no enclosed space in this terminal, it can get very hot during the afternoons. Taking in the views out onto the tarmac, Kona Airport provides such a unique experience that you really don't get anywhere else in the US. It's also the only remaining major airport in the Hawaiian Islands where passengers board their aircraft using mobile stairs or ramps instead of the usual airport jet bridge. Boarding got underway about 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Hawaiian Airlines has quite a wide range of different boarding groups, with the process beginning with pre-boarding for guests needing extra time, followed by premium cabin boarding for first-class passengers. Following that, Zone 1 passengers are invited to board, which include Pualani Platinum members, and then Zone 2, which includes Pualani Gold and Premier Club members. Next up, active duty military and families with young children are invited to board, and then Zone 3, which includes guests who purchased extra comfort seats. Then Zones 4 and 5, where I'm boarding today, which are for main cabin seats, and finally Zone 6 for main cabin basic seats. Getting our first look at the aircraft taking me to Honolulu today, I'll be on board this 24-year-old Boeing 717-200 that started its life in October 1998, flying around Australia for several different airlines, before being transferred to Hawaiian Airlines in December 2008. These aircraft are the backbone of Hawaiian's inter-island services, with 19 of them in the Hawaiian Airlines fleet. There are only 2 other airlines in the world that still operate the 717 aside from Hawaiian, those being Delta and Qantas Link. Stepping on board, these aircraft are in a 2-class configuration, with 8 first-class seats at the front in a 2-2 configuration, followed by 120 economy-class seats in a 2-3 configuration. I'm booked in seat 23A for today's flight, which is a window seat on the left side of the aircraft. The left side of the plane is great for couples traveling together with only 2 seats in each row, while the right side has 3 seats. The seats themselves are very simple from a design perspective, but colorful and bright. The cabin also feels super clean and fairly modern for what is a nearly 25-year-old plane. Looking at the legroom, at a height of 5'10", I'm comfortable, with these seats having 29 inches of pitch and 18 inches of width. In terms of carry-on baggage storage, fitting my large backpack under the seat wasn't an easy task, as there's not very much space. There are overhead bins for carry-on baggage as well, with standard-size rollerboard bags fitting without issue. It's worth noting, however, that the luggage bins on the right side of the aircraft are larger than the left side. Taking a look around my seat a bit more, you'll notice that there are no seatback entertainment screens at any seat on these aircraft, which makes sense given that all the flights they operate are under an hour in length. Further down on the seatback, we have a tiny tray table that folds out for use, which is really just meant for holding drinks. Below that, we have a pocket for storing the provided reading materials and any other items of your choosing. Checking out what we have here, there's the safety information card for the Boeing 717, an air sickness bag, and the Hawaiian Airlines in-flight magazine. The magazine contains the in-flight food and beverage menu, including the 4 purchase items that are available on longer flights, as well as route maps, terminal maps, details about their frequent flyer program, as well as details about the personal device entertainment streaming that's available on some of their aircraft. Unfortunately, the Boeing 717 is not one of those planes. Looking at the overhead panel above my seat, we have an attendant call button for the row, personal reading lights for each seat, and personal air conditioning vents for each seat. It appears, however, that my light isn't working. Pushing back from the gate 5 minutes ahead of schedule at 4:05 p.m., my seat at the back of this aircraft is likely to be very loud for the next 30 minutes or so, as I'm just in front of the engine. Climbing away from Kona and turning northwest towards Oahu, expected flight time is 30 minutes over to Honolulu. My seat has access to 2 full windows, so I can stare off into the distant Pacific Ocean for as long as I want. Refocusing on the cabin and looking at my seat a bit more, these seats don't have any recline capability, and there aren't any AC or USB power outlets available for charging your devices. About 5 minutes after takeoff, the crew began the in-flight beverage service, with options of water, coffee, or juice. The juice is a Hawaiian signature, passion orange guava, served in a small plastic container. Getting up to explore the cabin, standing at the back of the aircraft, we have a lavatory here, as well as an emergency exit through the tail, which is interesting. Rows 17 and 18 are also emergency exit rows and feature extra legroom because of it, along with row 4 because it's the first row of the economy cabin. You'll also notice that there are very visible handrails along the edge of the overhead bins, which isn't something you see on a lot of planes. Stepping into the lavatory at the back of the aircraft, this is the only lavatory on board, which means that first-class passengers have to trek it to the back of the plane if they can't hold it until we get to Honolulu. The lavatory is by far the most retro part of the whole plane and is very small as well. Back at my seat, the fasten seatbelt sign is back on, and we're on descent towards Honolulu. As we get ready for landing, let's talk about the Hawaiian inter-island market. There are 3 main airlines that offer flights between the Hawaiian Islands, these being Hawaiian Airlines, Southwest, and Mokulele. Of these, Hawaiian and Southwest offer the most frequent, convenient, and well-priced tickets, so how do they compare? If you've seen my review of Southwest's inter-island service from Honolulu to Kona, then you'll know that some of the main benefits of choosing Southwest are that 2 checked bags fly free on every ticket, and they offer great ticket flexibility if you have to make changes. In terms of base ticket price, they were pretty comparable, but at the end of the day I had to pay $25 for a checked bag on Hawaiian, which ultimately ended up making this journey that much more expensive. Nonetheless, they're both great options for getting between the islands, and Hawaiian's product definitely gives you more of that island feel.
Welcome to the International Airport on the island of Oahu. Fully taxi for the comfort and safety.
After touching down at Honolulu International Airport at 4:45 p.m., we're now taxiing over to Terminal 1. Hawaiian Airlines operates all of their inter-island flights from Terminal 1, and for transfers to Terminal 2, there's a shuttle service connecting the terminals, but it's also quite reasonable to walk between them. My next stop is baggage claim. There are 2 separate baggage claim halls here in Terminal 1, so you should double check the screens in the terminal to determine where your bag will be delivered. Bags from my flight will be appearing on carousel number 10, so I'll be heading to the claim area for carousels 1 through 11. I believe this is where all bags are delivered for Hawaiian's inter-island flights, but still worth checking so you don't end up in the wrong place. Within 5 minutes of arriving at the carousel, bags from my flight started flowing, and I had mine in hand a couple minutes later. Thanks for joining me for this trip report, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now for some comments on the experience overall. Hawaiian Airlines Island Hopper service is a convenient and accessible way to travel between the different Hawaiian islands. Their Boeing 717s offer a unique and retro experience while still being modern and comfortable. With other airlines like Southwest increasing their presence on island routes that Hawaiian has had a monopoly on for so long, it'll be interesting to see how competitive the prices and offerings of each airline become.